Good evening, beautiful woman. Welcome to Isaya's Inspiring Evenings, a podcast full of goddess stories, witches' secrets, colors of women and fairy seasons to integrate serenity, abundance, joy and magic into your life. This is episode 52, The TooMuch Woman Travels in Time, episode 7. Lessons about reality, beach summers and self-appreciation. I am Isayabel, Creatrix, magical pragmatic inspiration mentor, tech goddess teacher, and traveling priestess. And this podcast aims to accompany you for peaceful and inspiring evenings. Isaya's Inspiring Evenings is published very irregularly, and you will find more info and the references I am talking about on the website isayabel.com. Subscribe to the podcast on the platform of your choice to be informed of the publication of each new episode. If you like this podcast, you can support it by leaving stars, blue thumbs, and reviews on whatever platform you listen to me. Lessons about reality, beach summers, and self-appreciation. Picture this: Loutraki, Greece, August 1981. I am 14 years old. I am in Greece again, like so many other summers before that, and so many more after. I am Greek, you see, and my parents would always send me to Greece during the summer to stay with my grandparents. So all summers were made of sea, sunshine, the smell of thyme and oregano, playing cards with my granny during the hot afternoons, watching American TV shows subtitled in Greek on Greek TV, reading the same books numerous times during siesta time, compulsory and seemingly never-ending, and eating ice cream and souvlakia at the open-air cinema, watching reruns of mediocre old movies. My gran used to say that the one thing she could spot me with was my swimsuit, because my head was always underwater. I spent so much time playing in the lukewarm Mediterranean, pretending I was a mermaid, learning to somersault endlessly and creating my own version of synchronized swimming. My fingers looked like the ones of an old crone when I finally agreed to come out of the water. On the beach, in the water, the Greeks tend to talk and socialize, and so I did too. I made friends on the beach every year, although most of them were different every time. Fast forward to that particular summer. By now, I'm 14, and I believe I know everything about life. After a few weeks with my parents, I decide, quite rebelliously, to visit my godmother in Loutraki, a well-known seaside resort town. My godmother is an old traditional lady, and she has been offered a flat in one of the ugly buildings on the seafront for a month. Not a direct view, but one on the side streets. She is staying there with one of her even older widowed sisters and her niece, my blood sister, the one Greek girl I can't wait to see every year, my BFF in this country, the ever so beautiful, dark-eyed, dark-haired Maria. We meet again every year or so, impatient to catch up on our school here, on how much our boobs have or haven't grown, on our love crushes and heartbreaks, and all the TV gossip we can remember. I love her to bits, and I'm so happy to see her again. Please remember we have no phones, no internet, no way to communicate all year long beside the occasional letter. But she only speaks Greek, and I don't know how to write in Greek. After a year-long absence, we are so eager to meet again, and it's usually insanely noisy when we do. So that year, I arrive in Loutraki by bus, all grown up, or so I believe, and we settle in our typical routine. Mornings at the beach, swimming and chit-chatting in and out of the water. Lunch under the parasol made of tomatoes and peaches, sometimes some feta cheese and paximadia, traditional Greek rusk. You've not lived until you've tried dipping some in olive oil and eating it with feta. That year, finally, the old ladies have decided to let us go to the beach on our own, and we are elated, feeling so full of ourselves you can't imagine. Both of us are qualified swimmers like most Greek teenagers. So here we are, two sun-kissed teen girls at the top of the world. She is the Mediterranean-type brunette. I am the blonde European one. Of course we make friends. Girls want to approach us and be close to us. I believe it's because of Maria. She calls herself Natalia by now, more exotic for Greek standards. In truth, I will understand that it's also because of me, the outsider, the new girl, the foreign one, the fascinating, exotic French girl. Because although I do speak fluent Greek, and I am Greek by my mother lineage, I am Swiss by my father, and have always, more or less, lived in France. So I do represent the alien one in Greece. And the boys. Oh, the boys. In France, I am this slightly overweight, intellectual, blue-eyed, blonde girl. Not the popular kind. I do not seem to appear on any boy's radar, ever. So I usually consume myself in unrequited love crushes for the hot boy of the classroom and dream most of my kisses. But in Greece, to my absolute surprise, that year, I was to discover that in Greece, for the boys, I am the bomb. I have always considered Maria to be the pretty one between the two of us. That year, the boys disagree. I am the talk of the beach. Boys want to take me to the movies. Boys want to buy me ice cream. Oh, the Greek ice cream parlors on the beachfront. Again, you have never lived. Boys want to hold my hand. Boys want to kiss me, and more. I am flabbergasted. I am flattered. I am feeling lucky. And I do accept quite a few offers. Walking barefoot on the beach at night and stopping to kiss under the stars with the remote sound of the beach disco in the distance. The memories of those summer nights are still with me today and keep me going in desperate winter times. 2 of the best weeks of my life. I'm living in the body of a prom queen and boys make moves on me constantly and will every summer after that until I come to Greece with my future husband. LOL. But all those years of being a raging success 1 or 2 months every year did wonders for my self-esteem and self-appreciation. Of course, I would go back to France in September, back to my ordinary girl status. But the aura of the Greek boys' admiration would last until the next summer. I feel like a golden girl. Like I can't do anything wrong. I have the fun of my life. And I know today that this dual opinion the world had on me has shaped my life and beliefs in a profound and crucial way. I learned that how I am seen does not reflect reality. I did not change between France and Greece. Only my environment changed. So I know that I can be a hit in some places where I am a rarity, blonde, blue-eyed, fair-skinned, foreign language-speaking golden girl, and just the girl next door in some other places. But I also came to understand recently, during a conversation with my mom about speaking 2 languages from a very young age, that this dual standards, dual reality concept might well have been ingrained in me way before my teenage Greek summers. I actually am bilingual from birth, through what can almost be described as a random turn of events. And I know, because there are actual recordings of me, that I could translate from Greek to French and vice versa at the age of 4. This has opened a completely different world to me than would be accessible to a monolingual kid. I know that to describe an object with 4 legs and a flat board to eat on, there are 2 words, each of them completely different, each of them equally right, not one better than the other. I actually now know 5 words for a table because I learned more languages along the way, but that's another story. So I knew from a very, very young age that reality isn't monolithic and that it is authentic and tangible in various ways, that it is made of different substances, that these substances have different names, even different compositions. In Greek, we call a certain color blue that the French call green. Even the limits of colors are different. And each Greek person considers she is right, and each French person considers she is right. And they both are. I knew that. I know that. How much does that make me different from a monolingual person? Anyway, my point here. You are right. I am too. Because we only talk about ourselves. I am the prettiest girl on the beach. I am an ordinary girl at school. Both are true. And the only reality I'm concerned about today is, who do I feel I am? How about you? I'd be so happy to hear from you about all that. Thank you in advance for your comment. So much for today. See you soon for my next online adventures. Until then, I send you love, light, and gratitude. Isaya. That's it for this episode. The next one is still in creation. Thanks for listening, and don't forget, if you want to support this podcast, share, subscribe, and leave stars, blue thumbs, and a review on whichever platform you listen to. If you want to be accompanied in the change processes that life offers you, if you want to participate in the awakening of feminine energy in the world, live your life as a goddess, know the secrets of witches, and apply the rituals of fairies in your daily life, contact me on my website isayabel.com. You can also subscribe to my newsletter to be informed of all the news in the real and virtual world of Isayabel. You will of course find this podcast on all platforms, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, etc., but also on YouTube and on my website isayabel.com on the podcast page.